Hi, I'm David Dowling, Schererville Chief of Police, recently retired. I'm a candidate for Lake County Sheriff. I'm also a graduate of LNI 33. Current thinking on critical topics facing our region and always present an invitation to act to improve our community. Our region has so many positives that we should be talking about. Unfortunately, the negatives tend to be what is discussed. We have an image problem in this county when it comes to some of our elected officials. I have contemplated running for Lake County Sheriff for some time, and at the end of the day, I believe it was a time to step forward. I was hired by the Schererville Police Department when I was 21 years old. At that time, I was already married and had a young son at home. I lived in Hammond at the time, which is where I grew up. At that point, I wasn't even thinking about leadership as much as I was about serving my community. I come from a family that has been guided by public service. My grandfather, Edward Dowling, was the mayor of Hammond. My father served as Hammond police officer and as the chief of police. My parents installed public service in my 5 siblings and I. That is easy to see by our professions. 3 police officers, 2 teachers, 1 fireman. We actually have 3 generations of police officers in my family, as 2 of my nephews are also in law enforcement. I remember the day that I graduated from the police academy. We were all standing there in our dress blues, our families are all there and proud as can be. My dad pulled me aside and pointed to my nameplate and told me, "There will be temptation in this job. There will be people that don't want you to do the right thing. You see that name on your nameplate," as he pointed to it. You just remember, you never do anything to embarrass the name of our family. I still remember that conversation like it was yesterday. I've always remembered the words of my father on that day, and I have always stayed the course. I've had a 34-year career in law enforcement with an unblemished record, and have been able to accomplish many things along the way. As a young cop, I was fortunate that a leader within the Schererville Police Department, Don Parker, took an interest in me. Don saw something in me before I realized it was there. He mentored me and helped me to develop this, and that is what his leaders are supposed to do. The more I learned, the more I wanted to do, the more I wanted to lead. I worked my way up in the department to have every administrative position there, including serving as Chief of Police for 10 years. Once I was chief, I wanted to make the most of it, to do more than just hold the position. Policing in the 21st century is not about answering calls. It's about building relationships with people in your community. It's about being accountable to the people that you serve. I always say, if the first time the residents interact with the police department is because you're responding to a call, then we aren't doing our jobs. So we worked on community policing initiatives. We implemented programs like National Night Out, Morning Call for our seniors, women's self-defense classes, Cops Camp in summer, Coffee with a Cop, anything and everything we could do to interact with our community in a positive manner. We also worked towards attaining CALEA accreditation for the department. CALEA is a federal law enforcement accreditation and is really the gold standard in accountability. We are only one of 2 departments in Lake County that has earned that distinction. And believe me, this is truly a team effort. The department has to be on board for this for it to be successful. Ultimately, CALEA demonstrates that you don't just talk the talk, but you walk the walk. You do what you say you're going to do. The department has been reaccredited several times since our initial award. Our most recent reaccreditation was a perfect score, 0 applied discretions, as they call them. I'm very proud of that and what that means for our department and for our town. I'm going to be the next Lake County Sheriff. Leaders stand up, and that is what I have done here. It is time to elect a new Lake County Sheriff who actually has police administration experience, who actually has integrity, and who is telling you what they've done, not what they're going to do. Now is not the time for a novice in the office of sheriff. We need proven leadership to demonstrate to our community that we are accountable to them, to provide the services and outreach so we are protecting and serving. We need a leader who isn't beholden to anyone except the people that elects him. We need a leader who leads by example, who doesn't just say less politics, but actually practices it. I know I am that person, and I look forward to proving it to the people of Lake County.